Deputy Speaker. We are very hopeful of your stewardship. And let me start by speaking on the Apprentice Amendment Act 2014. Mr. Suresh from the Congress has already suggested that this bill be sent to a select committee. I also think that this bill is too important to be passed to the standing committee, to be passed in the House in such hurried circumstances on the last day of the session. This needs a lot of deliberation, and that is why I would again urge the Minister, remembering that the Railway Minister had sent his Railway Amendment Bill to the Standing Committee. Similarly, he should send this bill to the Standing Committee. Sir, while I do not quarrel with the basic objectives of the bill, I will say that some of them, this bill has been pending since 2006. So actually, this is old wine in new bottle, which is what this present government is doing, repackaging old laws. See, the other day, the Kashmir Chief Minister made an interesting...
1 minute.
Please.
Modi has got objection.
He doesn't like the word wine. I know. He referred to Amarinder Singh. I know. Actually, the Kashmir Chief Minister said the other day that UPA had done many good things, but failed to publicize them. Modi ji is inaugurating projects which was completed in UPA time. So that is everybody's style of politics. What he did in Kashmir the other day were all completed from before. Even this inauguration of the railway line was also done before, but that's the rule. Sir, my main objection to this bill is a democracy. It's an ongoing process. No, but don't say कि अच्छे दिन आ रहे हैं, पहले भी अच्छा था कुछ, अभी भी कुछ अच्छा होगा. Now, sir, the main objection to this bill, main objection to this bill, sir, is that the total number of apprentices is thought to be calculated on the basis of total number of workers in a factory. And this total number of workers includes the permanent workers, the contract workers and casual workers. Now, on the one hand, you are not giving any right to contract workers and casual workers, but including their number in determining apprenticeship will lead to contract workers being phased out. This is what is happening in the Maruti factory in Haryana, Manesar. They are slowly easing out contract workers so that the apprentices will do some of the work done by the contract workers. This is something which I am basically opposed to. Mr. Dushwant Singh has spoken on the Rajasthan model. Rajasthan has enacted a new law. Several labor laws they have brought forward. They have changed the Contract Labour Act. They have changed several laws, including Industrial Disputes Act, Contract Labour Regulation Act, which are basically anti-labor, meant to help the industry. Mr. Dushwant Singh mentioned that FICCI and CII they have supported. Naturally they will. But I may remind you that in Rajasthan, the BMS, the trade union wing of the RSS has opposed the labor laws changes made by the Rajasthan government. BMS has totally opposed, and they will come to the streets soon to oppose the changes made in Rajasthan. So I am not enamored of that. Sir, having said that, let me say that it is necessary to increase the number of apprentices in the country, because in our country the number of skilled workers in the employable age is only 6.7%, whereas in China it is 50%, in European Union it is 75%. It is necessary to impart skills to our young men, and the government had earlier set a target of achieving 50 crores of skilled people by 2022. Now, slowly people are detracting from that. They are saying that this 50 crores target was fixed, taking a growth rate of 8%. If the growth rate does not reach 8%, then the number of skilled people will come down. But basically, it's a laudable objective that you skill your people. And it is necessary to improve the employability of people. So, there would be no objection to an Apprentice Act, Amendment Act, but I see it as a part of the bigger labor reforms this NDA government is attempting. They are trying to amend the Factories Act, and next they will amend the Industrial Disputes Act on the Rajasthan model, which will ultimately go against the interest of organized labor, which has been earned by continuous struggle over many years. So I see in this Apprenticeship Act and the hurry to pass it an attempt to initiate the so-called labor reforms, pro-industry labor reforms that this government is attempting, and ultimately it will go to hire and fire theory that this government may be believing in. Having said that, let me say some positive things about the bill. One thing informally in Apprentices Act, employers were told that if you violate the law, then you will have 6 months imprisonment. It was a little ridiculous, so that has been replaced by a fine. I have no objection. No employer has been jailed under this act. So that removing that would be a good idea. In the former Apprentices Act, sir, if a company had a pan-India operation, 3 or 4 more states, then it had to seek the permission from the Central Council and from individual states. That is being removed under the new Apprentices Act. Even if a company has a pan-India operation, it can employ apprentices in all the places. Earlier, in Apprentice Act, you could not get apprentices from other states. Now, in the amended Act, you can get apprentices from other states, which is again very welcome, that apprentices may travel from state to state. Formerly, sir, the total number of apprentices were fixed trade-wise. And in this country, 254 categories of industries were included. Now that is sought to be removed. The employer will have the option of engaging apprentices irrespective of the trade they are put in. They can also specify new trades. Since the Act was in 1961, since then a lot of changes have taken place. As has been spoken, the IT industry, the service sector has come into being. So new types of apprentices will be necessary. But, sir, we who work in the trade union field face a common problem. All these apprentices are working in a company. Now, when their period comes to end, they come to us and say, sir, will not get a permanent job. So I have to tell them that your period is ending. What I propose, that the apprentices working in private industry or in government industries should be given priority in employment. And in the case of government companies, there are ordnance factories which employ apprentices. In the case of government companies, age relaxation should be made in the case of apprentices. Then these people will be encouraged to learn more in their job. Sir, the other important point I want to say that they are trying to create I'll wind up in 2 minutes, new exchange of information through a portal site. The employers can recruit the apprentices according to their own policies. Sir, the provision of sitting in examinations after completion of apprentice has been made optional. And the main thing is that new act allows for employers to take non-engineering graduate and diploma holders. So the idea is basically to widen the number of apprentices. The National Skill Development Corporation is alone not sufficient. So more doors open for apprentices. There are lakhs of unemployed people in the country. So it is good. But this Apprentice Act should not be taken advantage of workers, by employers, so that they can dispense with contract workers and use apprentices in place of permanent or contract workers. Okay. Sir, let me finish by saying that if the government thinks that they will enlarge skill training, I have no objection. If they want to employ more apprentices, we will have no objection. But the organized working class in this country will oppose any effort by the employers to go towards a hire and fire policy. They will oppose any effort by the employers to change the Factory Act to include 12 hours in their working day, from which they will have to work for 8 hours. Any anti-labor move by the government will be resisted tooth and nail by all trade unions, including the BJP's Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh. Okay. Thank you, sir.
माननीय